Hey guys, what's up? This is Grandmaster Mackenzie Molnar.
I'm Sean Finn. I'm an expert and manager of the Montclair Sopranos, and we're going to look at some of our games from the last match. Didn't go quite the way we wanted. We were playing the Rio Grande Ospreys. We went in with we were one of only 6 out of 48 teams to have a perfect score, 3-0. So we went in confident, but we knew we were playing a strong team. I think we had 2 of the highest average ratings going into that night. It was definitely close. It came down to the last game, and there were some time scrambles, and some of them didn't go the way we wanted. But we definitely had some interesting games. So let's dive right into the chess.
Cool. So the first game we're checking out is a game between Alex Lenderman, who's the black pieces in our board 1 in this game, and his opponent is Joshua Ruiz, who's a good international master for the Ospreys. And Ruiz is actually going to be featured in 3 of our games, so just something about his chess must be unavoidable here. So, anyway, in this game, Alex has been kind of trying to slowly build up a nice positional advantage. This position came out of a French. It's been an interesting close struggle, and it looks like Black is kind of in the driver's seat here because White doesn't have much play going on for themselves here. So, with the next move, Black plays Queen b5 and kind of gets their queen side going, their play going a little bit more, threatening Queen b2 mate. Very subtle. So White plays Rook. No threat. So Rook b3, Queen a6, and here I marked that b5, b4 followed up with something like a4 or shifting the rooks over, possibly here and here, and then playing a4 to make sure the b pawn is protected would be probably a pretty good plan, and there's not much that White can really do about it. Looking at it now, I'd be kind of curious to see if maybe a4 might have been a move that White should have considered, but trying to stop everything. But there's it's pretty hard to find the accurate defense in these short games. So White plays Rook c3. Black continues with this idea and manages to get it in pretty cleanly. And he's going to shift his rooks over. Now White goes for counterplay with f5, but this is just a little bit too little, too late, unfortunately. So after Black takes, White manages to kind of undermine Black's center, but Black has some play coming in very quickly here. What did you guys think when you were watching this game live?
We were very happy with this. We liked how Alex was playing a little bit earlier before he moved all the queens and rooks over to the queen side. He kind of had this nice knight outpost, and I really wasn't sure how he was going to win, quite honestly. And then so it was instructive actually watching it. And then we got to a position like this, and we see the rook coming down, just how coordinated and active his pieces are, and just primed and ready to go on the queen side there. But the finish was nice too. We saw a couple ways we think we could have won too, and but it wasn't as clean as the way Alex did it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, once the center opens up here, it looks like he can just transfer his rook here and then just start attacking the center. So yeah, White played c3. This is probably one of the moves that led him to immediately lose, unfortunately. The rook gets trapped here on b3. It's unusual that the rook actually ends up on this square with nowhere to go. But, knight e3 is a really strong continuation here.
Attacking the queen and threatening the knight c2 tactic.
Yeah, absolutely. So if knight c2, well, for example, if White were to retreat the queen somewhere that's not protecting the e1 bishop, knight c2 is going to pick it up because White can't bring the rook off the first rank. So, yeah, nice tactic. There's a lot of ideas here. So queen d3, immediately threatening queen c2 at the minimum. Yeah. And White tried to find an escape with a3, but after queen c4, the rook is just trapped. Kind of interesting tactic you don't see very often. So after king a2, a4 just wins.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have another nice game.
We got to give this game the due introduction. What are you going to say about this?
Watching Hess play this match, all his games were fun, I got to say. Even the game he lost at the end, he had a great position before that. It came down to a time scramble. But he started off 3-0, almost went 4-0. But this game in particular stood out, definitely. It was an interesting one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to try to rush through these a little bit quicker, but yeah, we're actually going to look at the entire game, not just the critical moment, because the whole game was...
The whole thing was pretty. You can't just jump to the middle.
The whole game was just amazing. So, yeah, C4, E6. So we're actually going to go straight into a Nimzo, which typically would be a quiet variation here with Queen C2, and looking like a more flexible, just positional struggle ahead. But nevertheless, the quickness or something about the player has just led to an incredibly vicious struggle here pretty quick. So the way that the middle game goes so far is pretty normal. Yeah, this knight outpost on E4 is like one of Black's biggest assets, and then a lot of times they'll play F5, they can play Queen E7 and go for C5, they can go Queen E7 and go for E5, or like they do in the game, go for G5 at some point. This is very aggressive. Maybe, I think, something he might reconsider in future games. But, yeah, right around here I looked over while I was playing, and this looked like a really interesting position, but I couldn't tell exactly what White was going to do, and I couldn't spend enough time to figure out what the proper response was, but Hess figured out something really impressive here. So the first move, Bishop D3, is maybe not that noteworthy yet, but after Knight F6, I was really impressed with Hess's next move, looking at the game afterwards. He plays Bishop F4 here.
Yep.
What did you guys think of this when you were commentating?
We were big fans. We did not see it before Hess played it, and we definitely liked it a lot. It was it's just a pretty move, and it's the position he gets afterwards. It's like this incredible center. Gets his king safe. These open files coming down on the king. It's it's the kind of position you dream about, and getting there with like a cute little tactic is always nice as well.
Yeah, actually, this knight, even though it's centralized on E4, has absolutely nowhere to go. So after pawn takes, yeah, the knight's stuck. Can't go anywhere. And White can actually just take his time and win it at his own leisure. Mm-hmm. So Black tries to create some complications, maybe just a little bit desperate, but
it doesn't go anywhere.
Doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. So just castling. White finally takes.
F4 comes in, just can't take obviously because of E5. It's just crushing the center, and yeah.
I would have been, if I saw this game in a tournament, I would have wondered if somehow did something wrong with the board here. It's like, how do you get center pawns like this? I don't understand. But, yeah, Hess finishes the game really nicely. Yeah, this E5 was a nice shot, unleashing the bishop on D3. So after this, it's pretty much over.
Yep.
So,
GG.
Good game. The next game we're going to look at is my unfortunate moment. So this round, or this match didn't go as well as I would have wanted. So this is going to be the final game that we're looking at with Mr. Ruiz. I'm the black pieces here. The game was a knight orf, which was pretty sharp in the opening and middle game. But it's kind of finally leveled out into this stable endgame where I have a winning advantage. But the problem is I used way too much time. My time management was pretty poor this game. And I think in a regular tournament game I would have found the solution here without too much trouble. But I missed Black's strong move here, and I ended up repeating back and forth a couple times playing Rook C2. And eventually choosing a continuation that wasn't as good still held a large advantage. But I went on actually to lose this game, mostly due to time pressure and just not using my time effectively. But there was a really strong continuation going back to that original position, where after knight f1, I can play b takes c4. I actually really like this position, and immediately after the game I knew that this was the winning move. And the idea is just even giving up the exchange is no problem. There is the knight fork with d3 coming. There is c3, which is basically landing White in a mating net with just the minor pieces here. So
yeah, it's not much White can do.
Yeah, I don't know. It would have been a nice finish. So
it's tough. Fast games.
So yeah, if we won that game, or if I won this game, we would have been I think a two game lead going to last round. So would have been a nice cushion.
True, but with just when you lose by one, all you need is one more game anywhere. It doesn't matter where you get it, and we would have been a little happier. That's right. It was It was definitely a close, hard-fought match. So now our fourth board, Levy. He has got an interesting game every time, so it's always hard to pick a critical moment that we want to show for him. This is one where he's lost, but he's had some nice wins this season, so we'll definitely show some other Levy games coming up. But this is an interesting one, so let's...
Yeah, you guys should definitely watch his games. They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome games. So, we're going to skip over a lot of the opening here. He played something like this, I think, in one of his other rounds. Maybe his opponent in this game had some preparation. But this would have been like the one moment where I would have played, I think, a little bit differently. I think e5 would have been a strong continuation. He played queen c2, and they reached like a really unclear and imbalanced middle game where White's given up the pawn on c4, but he's gotten some central space and some nice dark square control coming up. So these moves all happen. White's relying on tactics here so that the bishop's not hanging due to the knight check on d6. So White weakens the dark squares, and it looks like he's got some compensation, but Black manages to really kind of solidify his advantage here with the next move. And b3 is kind of a normal idea in a lot of these lines, trying to just loosen the queen side. Get some dark square bindage going on. But Black plays c3, and that pawn is going to be a major pain. So after a5, b4, and that pawn is not going anywhere. And Black really just manages to just keep... He plays a really nice finish. Just keeps increasing his advantage. So knight e1, Black breaks free with c5, crushing the center. Bishop h5, and now both f-pawn moves are good. Black plays f5. White plays g4. I think I was joking in one of the commentaries we were doing that g4 is always good. This might be like the one exception. So
there are no exceptions.
No exceptions. Except this. Maybe one time. We'll call it like a half-hearted exception.
He tried to get something going.
Yeah, can't fault him too much. So knight f4 is a really strong response here. Unfortunately, making really good use of the weakened h3 square, and that bishop on h5 is feeling a little lonely without the g-pawn.
A little misplaced.
A little misplaced. So, yeah, Black manages to wrap up the remaining moves here pretty nicely. c6, queen f3, creating the x-ray, and also ideas on h1. Yeah, there's really no defense here. And, yeah, with a few more moves, Black mopped up the victory. So this was the final position.
Yep. So, it was definitely a hard-fought match. We definitely feel like it could have gone our way, but it didn't, as it goes sometimes. But we're still happy with our score so far. We're 3-1 so far. There are no perfect scores in our division. The Atlantic Division is being led by Philly right now with 3.5. And then we're tied for second with Buenos Aires and Montreal. So we will try and catch Philly next week. It won't be Wednesday. It'll be Saturday this time, February 11th. We're going to be playing the Mumbai Movers, and they're another strong team. But
I like the name.
Yeah, I like the name too. Yeah, they're a good team, but we like our chances. So definitely tune in and watch us, and we'll be doing live commentary again on our Twitch channel, the Montclair Sopranos channel. Yeah.
All right. See you next time.
See you next time.